Good morning, everybody. Coming at you here Friday morning, the 26th of July. The market as a whole looks a little bit better than it was. As you know, it's been a bit of a rough ride. I think everyone was anticipating this Ether ETF to just send everything skyrocketing to the moon. But those of you who have been in the space long enough to know that while chart analysts and TA guys and girls out there all seem to think they have it figured out, they don't quite have it figured out yet. And part of that is because, like I hit on one of my videos the other day, this is a new market. This is like a baby who knows how to walk but still trips over its own feet sometimes. And if you haven't kind of seen the overall sentiment, if you look at this growth sentiment over the last 10 plus years, it continuously grabs people's attention, but it's not like a roller coaster going off the tracks. It doesn't get the whole park's attention at once, if that makes any sense to anybody. But as we get slow institutional adoption and we get more and more folks that, see the potential of utilizing not only the digital currencies themselves and the coins and the tokens, but some of the underlying technologies that the companies behind some of these tokens are building, I think you have to look at this as a long-term growth market, and with that, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs and immaturity in this market. But to take a quick look at today's snapshot, XRP we always start with because we really do believe in the project behind the project, if you will, when it comes to Ripple and what they're developing. I think once the SEC deal is all behind everybody, I think you'll see some explosive growth from XRP, because I do believe that this has been suppressed in a way where I don't believe in the manipulation conversation or things like that. I just think that every time people start to gain a little bit of traction on the XRP side, something does happen. Ripple releases, something, a large amount of coins out of their escrow, and then it gets headline news and it scares people off. But listen, if you've seen the growth behind things like Solana and the meme coins that are contained inside of it, I can't help but think that you have to understand that finance is not going to be given up. But the old finance market is not going to tap out. They're going to adopt, and when they adopt, they're not going to adopt PP coin. They're going to adopt transactional value and liquidity, and you're going to get that with XRP as one of them, which is why, again, we always start with XRP. We're a big believer. But as you can see, down overall over the last couple days, starting to make a little bit of a rebound on the hourly this morning, but I still think that the overall market is still shaken and scared from the negative growth after the launch of the ETF the other day for Ether. One thing I did see here in some of the news from you today, it says Solana and XRP ETF potential approval under threat. Here's the reason. And I'm not going to read down through the whole thing, but they basically say BlackRock's reluctance to embrace altcoins. Listen, BlackRock is a power player, but if you believe that they don't know what's going on in the back end of everything, then I got an igloo to sell you down in Alabama. So I think BlackRock is like anybody else, accumulating and dragging their feet in public, but running fast in the background. They're being the duck, if you will, calm and cool and collected on top, but feet are working like a million miles an hour in the back end or underneath. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them change their tune like they have with other currencies here. Moving on to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is seeing a bit of a resurgence over the last day and a half or so. Everybody on the chart analysis will say, "Oh, here's the bottom, and here was the bottom, and here was the bottom, and here was the bottom, and here." Guys, listen, girls, boys, ladies, whatever. The bottom was 3,000. That's the only bottom I'm calling. And again, it goes back to the maturity of this market. One bad, bit of news, and we don't get into politics here, but I saw a news story yesterday where they're saying that Bitcoin's recent growth is because Donald Trump has said he's going to make all Bitcoin in the United States moving forward. I'm hoping that that's just a reporter who misquoted, but if you believe a single politician, whether it's, Harris, Biden, Trump, Van Wyck, whoever is your politician of choice, if you think that them declaring for an asset after a few years ago, they trashed the asset and said that it was garbage and there's no value there. If you don't think that that switch was simply for political vote base, then again, I got an igloo. It's frozen in Alabama right now in the middle of the summer. You can move right in for virtually no cost to sell you. But the reality of it is bringing all crypto mining or all Bitcoin mining to the United States is not possible. It's not going to happen. So, vote how you will, believe in who you will. On the voting side, I don't care who you vote for as long as you vote. I hate people who complain and then don't go to the polls in November. So, if you're going to utilize politics as an argument, simply vote. Vote however you want. Vote with your heart, with your wallet, however you want. But if you think a single politician of any side, even in the independent side with RFK, if you think any of these guys are going to come save your portfolio and rocket something to the moon, I think you have another thing coming. But again, the report the other day was that Donald Trump is the reason why this is going through the roof. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But again, we still have an all-time high to hit. But either way, Bitcoin seems to be recovering well. I think bringing more crypto mining to the United States is an excellent idea. But for the reporter out there who said that Donald Trump was going to make all future Bitcoin here, I hope you misspoke, because nobody makes Bitcoin. Moving on to Ethereum, again, the massive sell-off, some will call it accumulation. I call it sideways action, whatever. Look, we're not here for TA, but a little bit of a regain. But again, I think we're gonna see some small baby steps here. But Ethereum has a lot of room to catch up. But do not think that the whales on the Ethereum side are not accumulating like crazy right now, because they absolutely are. One of our favorite projects, Flare. Again, we're not going to get into utility or what it does or why, but if you look, every day they have growing partnerships. Every day they have new developments. The crowd keeps quiet, I think, on Flare, and the volume is low. I'll be the first to admit, 6 to 8 million some days in total trading volume. It doesn't hold a candle to some of these bigger currencies, but I think if you look at real-world development, again, my background it was in banking. Some of the things that we struggled with at the bank, a company like this and a currency like this could solve. That's how I look at things, is when we struggled with something at the bank, or when a customer came in and complained about a certain type of fee or transactional time frame, and I look at things like XRP and Flare, and I think to myself, would have been fantastic to have an option like that when I had a complaining customer at my desk. But either way, Flare kind of sideways as well, not recovering, still underneath that 2.5 cent mark, which is where it kind of needs to get to make a big pushback forward. But either way, Algorand, same thing, doing a little bit of a recovery here. But again, I think this 14-cent range is pretty fair. 14 to 16 cents is about where you're going to see this project trading, I think, for the near future. HBAR for Hedera, same thing. We believe in their partnerships. We believe in their development, what they have going on, their volume. But the reality of it is again, you're going to see this trade between, I think, anywhere from 6 cents maybe on a bottom range for a bad day. But, you're going to be hard-pressed to see this push over 8 cents anytime soon. Solana, we do a lot of picking on Solana because of, I saw a tweet the other day that Solana has, and it went through this whole list of meme coins. And part of me wanted to, put on there, Ripple has, or, Hedera has, because you're not going to find meme coins. You're going to find real-world companies around for, some of them, nearly 100 years, with real institutional liquidity, with real voting power when it comes to, who adopts what in the world of finance. So, again, Solana is a power player. I don't take anything away from them. If you were an early adopter of Solana, good for you. I'm really honestly happy that your bags are full. But on the same hand, too, to think that they're the next one to get an ETF, I'm not so sure about that. But, real quick, we'll just kind of click on the news from you today here, and again, I'm not a TA guy, so, I have people on our team that are much better at explaining this than I am, but, they say about a head and shoulders pattern, is it ready? And, the reality of it is I still believe that this market doesn't follow traditional market rules. So will it explode? That depends on what celebrity talks about it tomorrow on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Tron actually, kind of fighting the market and bouncing back up almost to 14 cents again. Again, we follow some of these small projects, some of these old projects. We've been around for a long time, so we like some of the older guys. But I'm still waiting for Tron to make its big move in the world. The Avalanche side of the world, big decrease over the last week and a half, whatever you want to call it, last 5 days or so, but maybe leveling out here a little bit. I think we're going to see some growth, but to think that this project's going to get back into the $40 or $50 range anytime soon, I think is kind of a fool's errand. Couple of the meme coins, Shiba Inu, still trying to recover from that hack the other week, still in the 1677 range. As we're talking, I think if you want to see some positive upward movement, you're going to have to get back to where were we here? I think you're going to have to get back to these levels back in, what was this, early June, mid-June. You get back over this, their 2,500 mark, give or take, after the 4 zeros. You'll start to see some movement upward, but as of right now, I think we're pretty stagnant. Dogecoin, sorry, I screwed my whole chart up here now. But Dogecoin, I think, is another one of those that has some opportunity for growth, but this is a tweet-based coin to me. This is all based on what Mr. Elon has to say about it, or whatever the case may be. But until they slow down their mining delivery of millions of new coins every day and everything like that being dumped onto the market, I just don't see this project with explosive growth unless the whole market trends upward. But again, still kind of sideways in the overall world of movement. One that makes us laugh, a little cock in you. Again, same thing. Good market. Seems to be doing okay over the last month or so, but still down pretty good from the all-time high. Bonk is up 4% on the day. I see these guys, as much as I don't, believe in these meme coins, I see Bonk's name popping up more and more every day. So, who knows? Maybe one of these meme coins will get some traction and end up doing something with their life. Moving on to the CoinDesk 20. This index, again, for those of you who don't know, like many other indices, just a grouping of 20 top cryptos, kind of gives you a snapshot of the market as a whole. As we stand right now, 3.5% up on the day. If you look at it over the course of the last week, still down a little bit, had some highs and lows in between, but recovering pretty well. Had a big old dip off with the Ethereum drop and the rest of the market, but, obviously with this being a bag of the market altogether, you're seeing the same kind of recovery and kind of growth here, but up almost 4% on the day. That's a good sign usually for the overall market. Final thing here, taking a look, fear and greed at 59, still kind of at the top of neutral, almost getting into the greed world. We need this to really kind of ping a little higher before we start seeing some massive moves. But if we take a look at the 24-hour, Bitcoin almost 4%, Ethereum 3%, BNB's up almost 3%, Solana up 7%, XRP down almost 3%, 2.5%. So again, like traditional, when the market trends up, XRP trends down and vice versa. Dogecoin up almost 5%. Cardano has some big changes coming to it if you follow the news, but they're up another 5% today. There's going to be a pretty good network change there, and a fork is finally coming there, I believe, the hard fork or the Chang fork or whatever they call it. So who knows what that'll do with the overall network volume and sentiment. Polkadot 1%, Chainlink up 3%, Bitcoin Cash 5%. So to round out the kind of the top 20 here, if you look at it from this perspective, Near doing pretty well, which again, Near and XRP tend to trend together in the same range, but this is actually kind of breaking away and moving upward while XRP goes down. There's your PP coin, pretty even, but still in the top 25, which is impressive. As we go down through Kaspa or KS, this one gets a lot of positive action outside in the conversation world. Still pretty flat though. I'm not sure how many of you follow this project, but as it pops up a little higher than what it was there on the chart a second ago. Moving upward overall, but if you look at the monthly trend here, we're still, fairly flat in the range of, anywhere from 15 to 19 cents, give or take. But there are a lot of people out there who are big believers in this project and who think that this is kind of like the next coming of world shakers. The artificial intelligence stuff is starting to kind of catch on too. So you'll see FET is up 8% almost. The Artificial Intelligence Alliance. Monero, I know not a lot of people talk about the privacy of Monero, but long-term project's been around for a long, long time, up almost 7% today. We're not going to go too far into this. I just wanted to scroll down here. Bitensor or TAO, whatever you want to call it, that's up 15.5%. So there's plenty of opportunity to make some cash in this market as we look at it today. But again, we're going to wrap it up here as we kind of wrap up the top 100 and remind everybody that we absolutely encourage you. Oh, hold on real quick. TikTok's favorite coin there, the Jasmy, almost 3%, up almost 12% on the day. So looking good. Never invest anything you can't afford to lose. This is not financial advice. This is how we ramble in the morning. Many don't like it, and that's okay with us. We're just here to kind of read the news as we read it. Again, we don't have too many affiliations. We don't fall on either side of the fence when it comes to voting block or any one particular coin. No maxi here. We love the market as a whole. We've been in crypto for a long time, and in our group over here, we only care about one thing, and that's people believing in projects and watching them move forward. So again, invest in what you want to invest in if you're going to. Never invest what you can't afford to lose. Don't forget to pay the light bill just because you wanted to put some money on one of these coins or currencies. And again, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes. This is how we deliver the news in the morning as we see it. See ya.